Hi everyone, my name is Sandhya, and today I'll be presenting a systematic review that was recently conducted by our research group on the neural correlates of sexual minority stress. Now to start, I'll define the term minority stress, which refers to the excess stress and discrimination that folks face due to their stigmatized identity. Now this can be anything from one's sexual orientation, their gender identity, race, and or ethnicity. Now, the minority stress theory posits that sexual orientation minorities experience these distinct, uncontrollable, and chronic stressors that are directly related to their stigmatized identity. And now these can be categorized into two, the first being what we call distal minority stressors, which includes things like discrimination, violence, hate crimes, and microaggressions, otherwise known as everyday indignities in our lab. And the second being proximal minority stressors. And this includes things like internalized homonegativity, rejection sensitivity, and sexual orientation concealment. Now, it is known that increased exposure to these chronic stressors can contribute to compromised mental health outcomes and overall well-being in this population. Now, in order for us to understand how and why sexual orientation minorities are disproportionately affected by these mental health burdens, it's crucial that we try to understand and elucidate this neurobiological basis of the stress pathway. And that's exactly what we aim to do here by conducting a systematic review. And we followed PRISMA guidelines and combined two different sets of keywords by using the AND operator. And so we use the terms sexual orientation and sexual minority status, as well as neural correlates. And we did want to note that we took an overly inclusive approach while coding the information for the data, given that we were in the early stages of the minority stress field. Now, our results revealed several gaps in the field where the neuroimaging studies included in our review were highly confounded. Unfortunately, studies reporting unique patterns in the brain among sexual minorities have largely attributed these findings to the neurobiological basis of sexual orientation. In fact, 12 out of the 13 studies did not measure levels of minority stress. As well, intersectionality was not taken into consideration. And of course, different intersecting identities can definitely contribute to these unique experiences with minority stress. Now, this represents a paradigm shift in the field where capturing the intersectionality of minority stress can really allow us to characterize how the brain changes in response to these stressful experiences, and in turn, how this might influence mental health. So here I've listed a few studies worth noting, but the main takeaway here is that several alterations in neural patterns that were found among sexual orientation minorities are similar to what we see in PTSD populations. And these are often found in the default mode network, the salience network, and the central executive network. So for instance, the salience network is responsible for detecting and responding to behaviorally salient stimuli. And in the study that I listed here, Savick and Lindstrom, they found altered resting state amygdala functional connectivity among sexual minorities in comparison to heterosexuals. Now, these neuroimaging findings are similar to what is seen in PTSD, as the salience network has shown to be both hyperactive and dysregulated in PTSD populations. So again, the main takeaway here is that there are several alterations that were found that are similar to what we see in PTSD. So this leads us to suggest that maybe PTSD and minority stress share several neuropsychological pathways. And our findings support the expansion of models of PTSD to include insidious forms of trauma related to minority stress. Now, We do have a minority stress framework here. We call it the Minority Mosaic Framework. And here it is designed to inform future directions on minority stress to capture the intersectionality and intersecting identities that can contribute to this unique experience of minority stress. And uncovering this effect that minority stress has on the brain will help us to promote change, foster resiliency, and help those who have been psychologically injured by these experiences. Thank you.